Have you ever wondered, why was Mercury given a Mahadasha of exactly 17 years? Not 15, not 20, but precisely 17 years? Today, we will unravel this mystery. And we will do it not through blind faith, but through a remarkable astronomical event that takes place in the sky above us. That event is Mercury passing in front of the Sun. This is called a Mercury Transit. And at the end of this video, I will share a pro tip with you, drawn directly from this very astronomical event that will give you a completely new way of reading your birth chart. Namaskar doston, and welcome to DakshJyoti. As you have seen throughout this series, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Rahu, and Venus, all of these planets have their dashas governed primarily by the moon. The moon is the significator of the mind, the ruler of emotions. That is why the influence of these dashas falls most deeply on our feelings and our moods, and over time, these effects gradually fade away. Take the Venus Mahadasha of 20 years, the dasha of pleasure, beauty, and prosperity. Its experiences are sweet and memorable. But as the dasha passes, its imprint on us slowly lightens. But the Mercury Mahadasha is rooted in the Sun. The Sun is the significator of the soul, and Mercury is the significator of intellect and communication. This is why whatever happens during the Mercury Mahadasha, the experiences that come, the thoughts that are born, they leave a permanent mark on the soul. These impressions stay with us for an entire lifetime. What the Sun illuminates once cannot become dark again. But why Mercury is so difficult to see? Among all the planets in our solar system, Mercury is the most elusive. The reason is simple. It orbits closest to the Sun. Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, all of these we can observe easily in the night sky. But Mercury is different. Most of the time, it is completely lost in the glare of the Sun. It appears only briefly, just before sunrise or just after sunset, faintly near the horizon, and then it is gone. This is precisely why ancient Indian astronomers could not track Mercury the way they tracked other planets. They needed a different, special method. So, what is that special method? When Mercury passes directly between the Earth and the Sun, it appears as a tiny black dot against the brilliant solar disk, slowly moving from one edge of the Sun to the other. This event is called a Mercury Transit. This is the only moment when Mercury can be directly and clearly observed in relation to the Sun. At all other times, it stays hidden, but during a transit, it reveals itself against the Sun's own surface, leaving no doubt about its presence. Do you know that Mercury transit visible only 10 times per century? According to astronomical calculations, Mercury transits the Sun approximately 13 times every century. However, due to the orbital inclination of Mercury and Earth, not all of these transits are visible from Earth. The result is that only about 10 transits per century are actually observable from Earth. This number, 10, is the figure that would have appeared again and again in the careful observations recorded by our ancient sages. Why Mercury transit visible more in November than May? Mercury transits can only happen in 2 months, May and November, because these are the only 2 points where Mercury's orbital path crosses the plane of Earth's orbit. But there is a significant difference between the two. In November, Mercury is close to perihelion, its nearest point to the Sun. At this position, it moves at its fastest speed and aligns perfectly with the Earth-Sun line far more frequently. In May, Mercury is near aphelion, its farthest point from the Sun. Here, its speed is slower, and the precise alignment needed for a transit is rarer and more difficult. This is why November transits occur roughly twice as often as May transits. This is not coincidence, it is pure mathematics and gravitational mechanics. There is a practical reason too. In the northern hemisphere, where India is, the sun's rays in November arrive at a gentler angle due to Earth's axial tilt, making the heat far less intense than in May.
For the ancient astronomers and sages who observed the skies, watching a November transit would have been far more comfortable and practical than braving the harsh summer sun of May.
7 hours of Mercury?
When a Mercury transit occurs, the time Mercury takes to cross the sun's disk depends entirely on which part of the disk it travels across. When Mercury passes directly through the center of the sun, the longest possible path across the disk, the transit reaches its maximum duration of approximately 7 hours. But this does not happen every time. Sometimes Mercury passes slightly above the center, sometimes slightly below. The farther it is from the center, the shorter its path across the sun's face, and the shorter the duration of the transit. This is how the duration can shrink all the way down to as little as 30 minutes. So, the very same event, a Mercury transit, can last anywhere between 30 minutes and a full 7 hours. It all depends on the precise astronomical geometry of that particular day. Our ancient sages observed and recorded this entire range, and from all the possible durations, they took the longest, the most complete, the most fully visible, 7 hours. That is the number they carried forward into their calculations. After those hours are done, Mercury disappears once again into the sun's overwhelming brightness. Such a small window of time, and yet hidden within it was the entire logic of a 17-year Mahadasha.
Time of calculation. Now, let us place both of these observations together. Transits visible from Earth per century, 10, and maximum duration of each transit, 7 hours. Our ancient sages took these two numbers, the frequency of visibility and the duration of visibility, and combined them into a single symbolic unit. 10 plus 7 equals 17. And it was this number, 17, that was linked to the nature of Mercury and assigned as the duration of its Vimshottari Mahadasha, 17 years. This was not an arbitrary number. It was a number given by the sky itself, drawn from Mercury's own astronomical behavior, its rarity, its visibility, and its fleeting nature. Our sages simply observed it, understood it, and wove it into an entire science. So friends, this was the answer to that question. Why Mercury was given a Mahadasha of 17 years. This number did not come from imagination, nor from tradition alone. It came directly from that small window in the sky where Mercury appears in a particular way for a particular duration, a particular number of times. 17. A number that was written on the face of the sun, and our ancestors simply read it. And now, there is one more thing I want to share with you. This was not the main subject of this video, but it is something that can directly help you. A pro tip, drawn from this very same astronomical truth. Pro tip, Mercury's power through nakshatras. Look at your birth chart and see which nakshatras Mercury is connected to. If Mercury is associated with the nakshatras of Rahu, that is Ardra, Swati or Shatabhisha, then such a person has the potential to become a world-class speaker. Their words carry a rare magnetic power to attract and influence large audiences. Whether on stage, in front of a camera, or in a boardroom, people stop to listen to them. On the other hand, if Mercury is connected to the nakshatras of the sun, Kritika, Uttara Phalguni or Uttara Ashadha, then such a person becomes an authentic and commanding leader. They have the ability to run organizations, government or private, with intelligence, skill and foresight. Their decisions are rooted in logic, and their words carry a quiet authority that others naturally respect. Now for the second pro tip, those born in May and November. As we have seen, Mercury's transit across the sun occurs primarily in May and November. This means that people born in these 2 months receive some additional gifts from nature. Their communication skills tend to be naturally sharp, and their ability to retain information and experiences over long periods of time is quite remarkable. This effect is even more pronounced in those born in November, because November transits are both more frequent and more impactful than May transits. So if you were born in May or November, and especially if you were born in November, take a close look at Mercury's placement in your birth chart. You may find something very special there.
Friends, Through this series, we have seen that the Vimshottari Dasha system is not a system born of fantasy or superstition. It is a carefully constructed astronomical framework where each planet's Dasha period is derived from its real behavior in the sky, its visibility, its speed, and its cycle. Our ancestors did not merely observe the heavens. For years, across generations, they measured, recorded, and then wove those observations into the very fabric of human life. This is the scientific soul of Vedic astrology. In the next and final episode of this series, we will bring everything to a close with the mystery behind Ketu's 7-year Mahadasha. Ketu, the planet that cannot be seen, yet whose influence runs the deepest. If you have enjoyed this series, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with anyone who wants to understand astrology through the lens of science. Namaskar.